Okay, so on Japan 8, they again danced back away from India, but he did start to make some proactive moves with his transport. So he did come into the India Sea Zone, so now he's got Africa free to attack, and he's got these three that he brought down here into the Western Australia area. so, so he does have some attacks going now. Although with using all 5 transports coming this way, that means he has no way to get anybody from Tokyo back. So he bought a complex, put it down here in Kwangtung, and 3 tanks to go there. Leftovers, he put 2 infantry back into Tokyo. And so that's where he's sitting at. So on the US side of things, again, doing our counts just to practice again. I know for some of y'all, you don't need to be doing this, but I think it's just good repetition and it helps myself to make sure I didn't goof up. So I've got 7 transports taking units somewhere along this direction this turn. So that's going to be 14 units they're taken care of. There's 14 infantry. So those, we're going to pretend those are gone. So there's going to be 8 units still left over here in the US. We've got 2 transports and 2 transports coming back. That's 4 transports needing 8 units. So we are perfectly matched. 8 units. Next turn, we could have these all 7 of these boats coming back, which would mean 14 units, but we can only put 12 into Eastern USA. So a small gaff, I guess, in there, other than the fact that I can just bring one of them back to East USA next turn as well, and be able to take units from there. So, anyways, so a small goof there. We're gonna have 1 too many transports to come back because when you get into this kind of cycle, I needed to overproduce. I needed to predict 2 turns ahead and overproduce the 2 extra infantry for this turn to be built up. But it's all okay. We'll make things manage regardless. Meanwhile, we did have quite a bit of funds, so with my 12 units, as I had to go ahead and go 6 and 6, start building up some offensive power to plan the attack on Berlin now. And I still had a little bit of extra income and bought myself a bomber as well. I thought about buying 12 ground and 2 tanks because then those 2 tanks can get over there as well. But yeah, I don't know. The next turn, like I said, next turn when my transport that's over here comes back, I'll build 2 bonus ones plus the 8 I'm going to be building for these guys. So I'll build 10 and then the 2 bonus for the next one. So I'll build 12 infantry next time and we'll be back in sync. And we won't lose any transport efficiency because he's just going to come back to here to come back to either Morocco or Southern Africa as needed. So we'll be okay. I'm not worried about the 2 tanks and him not being able to come back to Sea Zone 10 next turn. I'd rather buy my expensive bomber and start having my bombers flying all over the place for that firepower as well. So that's the purchase plan. Attacking plan. So we've got 5 infantry down here. I intentionally didn't come to Sea Zone 13 last time. So with the Japan coming, I'm going to just lightly put 1 back in here, use 2 to take here, and then leave 2 infantry down here in Libya to dead zone Egypt and Transjordan because I got my transports here that I'll be able to flash over to as well. We're going to see if we can't, if we have enough transports or enough, excuse me, planes and whatnot to scare his fleet from coming in here into the Red Sea with the 7 infantry, plus we're going to have 7 fighters plus the 3 fighters plus the handful of bombers coming around here. I'd rather make them scatter on down. And we're going to go ahead and bring some units down into South Africa to start planning. So we're going to be using two ways of dead zoning. So for the attack, we're gonna grab two guys here. Plenty of attacking there. I want to make sure I kill this guy. The issue is my 4 U.S. infantry are only going to be to here this turn. And I'm going to bring 2 Russians up here for trading this next turn back. So I kind of want to leave 1 infantry up here to be able to trade with. So we're going to do that. And we're going to get us a bombing run in. This 1 bomber will still be able to get down here to India to help complicate for him his logistics down here a little bit, hopefully. And I believe that's it on the attacking. A lot more bombing raids in this game than most of my games normally do. Mostly by my opponent. This is what my second bombing raid, I believe, so that's a lot for me. Ooh, I should have been doing this more often. Maybe I'll become a bombing raid person. See, that cruiser has only been hitting about half the time. Oh, alright. Didn't even need the fighters. How about that? There we go. I'll take it. There we go. Ah. Ah. Of course, the one bomber that missed. Ah, oh well. Oh, it's tempting. It's tempting me. Oh, I'm gonna do it. Ah, alright. I shouldn't have done it. I know better than that. I just didn't really want him to be able to do a blast on Corelli or something. But that was silly. Had the tank to help quickly work on these guys. It's my 8. Those guys going back for 8. So I'm testing. I had my carrier, 2 fighters, destroyer, cruiser. He didn't attack with 6 fighters, so we're going cruiser, destroyer, carrier, 2 fighters up here with 2 transports available. Since we've been testing them, now the other test is a battleship versus 2 bombers. I thought about moving the carrier and leaving the battleship up here. You know what? I think I might do that actually after all. Let's come back here. Or I think about it. I think I like that a little bit better. Safer. It puts my UK transports maybe at a little bit more risk. I'm not even, you know, oh wait, that's right, I can bring these guys down. That's what I was gonna do. Of course, if you knock them out, then that puts me at a risk up here. I don't have a fighter. You know what? I'm gonna change my mind again. I'm gonna go back to my original plan. I don't think he would think that far advanced, but if he went ahead and took these guys and took out my destroyer cruiser, then that would leave me just a carrier up here with no fighters that could reach it. That then this bomber could come take out these, was it 3 transports I just brought up here? 4 transports I just brought, 4 transports plus the 2 transports, so 6 transports. I don't like that. I don't think this player was going to think about that, but I don't like him even having the option to try it. So we're just going to back out. We'll go back to my original plan. I was comfortable with this anyways. Carrier, cruiser, destroyer, carrier, cruiser, destroyer. Leave my destroyer, American destroyers up there. Battleship is coming down here. There we go. So I'm going to do this just to make a headache down here. So now these transports, they can't come here because he has no warship. And my sub sitting here is going to be threatening these guys. So he'll either have to bring some guys back, which is, I assume, what he'll do. Because sub bomber is going to keep him kind of out of range out down here. This bomber, by the way, from Pearl can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to Canada next turn. And then if I'm looking at stacking France like I'm planning, he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, landing in France. So we've already got it kind of planned out. I just wish I hadn't been stupid with my bomber up here. Oh, the greed gets you. The greed gets you sometimes. Alright, I think that's everybody, right? We got everybody moved. Oh, nope. Got this bomber still to move. We'll bring him on down here to help dead zone this area as Japan starts landing troops. Which, speaking of, I think I'm going to take one of these guys back. Wait, who landed down here? Oh, no, I didn't want the infantry one. I want the, hey, give me the transport back with the tank in there. Transports really give me headaches here. Alright, you come back down here. So that should give us a tank and 3. There we go. Plus we got our air and our bombers. And these all can still come back to France and help stack if I need them to. So looking at this, Russia currently has a production of 24. We got 2 bonus beyond my 8 infantry I can build right now. I'm going to grab one that'll give me to 25. So if I save the 2, that would give me 9 infantry the next turn I could build. And I thought about doing that and just not building any artilleries, but remember he's got Caucasus bombed out and he's got Karelia bombed out, so I wouldn't be able to build 9 anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and continue building a little firepower with some artillery included in it. So one of the other things I'm thinking about is backing out some of my guys out, since all he does have, 5 transports I can hit there, so I do got to be mindful of that much, as well as these 2 transports can hit Persia. So I am thinking about pulling, my units back to Persia again, but I want to minimize what can hit here, right? So these 2 bombers can go 1, 2, 3, 4. This bomber up here can go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to take this with, between my infantry and my fighters, right? So that one's gone. So that's not a safe landing zone. He's got no landing zone over here. So 5, 6 would be these 2. So even though they're not going to give me any IPC that I get to keep, I am going to go ahead and take these with Russia. 1, so he can't blitz these 4 tanks through, but 2, to take 3 bomber pressure off of Persia so that I'll be able to pull back into Persia. So that's going to be our plan. So we got that one. So one thing I do gotta be careful with, Caucasus still has 3, 4, 5, 6, so they can hit there. This bomber's 1, 2, 3, 4, so I do need to protect from 2 bombers and my bomber there. At the same time, I want to move these guys forward to help with trading. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, but I am going to do one last calculation check. And all I'm going to do is, like I said, I want to be able to pull UK back, but I'm going to see if I need to put some Russians in here to help make it so that they can stop without being, so that they can be stacked and not be hit by all the air that he has that can still hit there and whatnot. So the other thing too is, again, these 4 air go 1, 2, so they need 2 landing places, and so they've got nowhere to land except for back on the boat. So again, that's going to help prevent this plane from being able to add in. So that whole taking these 2 spots, normally I don't like taking them with Russians, but it's limiting how much air by 3 bombers and a fighter that can hit Persia. So I don't have to worry about stacking it as heavily. But by moving my UK back on their turn, that's going to help dead zone in here as well. And then that just means he's going to have to come down to South Africa if he wants money. And we've got these guys and my bomber and my fighters and my bomber that are dead zoning along here. So we got some multiple plays to kind of counter his intrusion here. So I'm going to end the video here. I'm just going to double check that Persia stack and be good.